Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today I am super excited to dive into something that I have yet to cover on this channel, and that is a new label from Vinegar Syndrome. I know they've done a lot over the years, but I feel like I'm excited. I get to show this off. Now, this is actually the second one in the line, Little Darlings, which I'm super excited to cover. I can't wait to get that in and watch that. I love that movie. This is the second one in the series. That's the first one. I don't know how this happened, how the second one came up before. That's neither here nor there. This is the brainchild of Justin Liberty, who already worked at Vinegar Syndrome and kind of wanted to have a line that kind of represented what he was into and Vinegar Syndrome. So I'm going to link a video for you. You can check it out after you get done here. It's an interview between Justin Liberty and Brian from Just the Disc. Go check that out. Subscribe to his channel. He's great. It's a great interview. It's fascinating. They kind of go in depth with how this label started, how they came about the packaging, what films they were going to cover, all of that. So I highly recommend you watch that after you're done here today. Subscribe. We're going to be covering Little Darlings later this month when I get my hands on it. So let's get into this one. How this video is going to work, if you've never watched a video, we're going to go over the packaging, the video, the audio, the special features, and then I'll kind of wrap it up with what I think about the film and if this should be a purchase for you. And as this is a new line, it's kind of hard to say yet, I'll be honest. This is a first good step in that direction, but I won't really know until I get my hands on Little Darling. So don't expect like a full overview of this label until I get a couple titles in. Let's show off this packaging. So this is actually different packaging than what you would normally see. It's very tall, so it's definitely larger than their normal disc, but I actually really do like it. I've heard some discourse that people don't like it. I think it's cool. I just like different formats and different styles of physical media, and I think it's cool. Justin is a huge proponent of physical media and doing different things, and I think he knocked it out of the park. I will say I don't know that I'm a huge fan of the art on Little Darlings. We'll go over that in that video, but this art is great, and I actually had never seen this movie. This was a Nick Cage, Dennis Hopper thing that I'd never seen, and damn, this is a great movie and a solid pick. So let's get into this. So this actually comes out. There's a ribbon here, this cloth bound front, and this is actually kind of a nice red, it's got a nice red sheen to it, which I really like that there. Back, pretty plain. This opens up. So this is a media book, like a digibook type thing. And he wanted to do it, but he wanted to kind of incorporate it where it was part of that. Again, they go in depth with that in that interview. There is the matte black housing for this disc, which I really like. It's a solid press. It does take some force, but it doesn't feel like you're going to break the disc. So I really like that. You've got your eye up here, which is the logo for Cinematographe, which I really like. You got it up here. Also, another note with this, which we don't normally talk about because it's been pretty much the same with Vinegar Syndrome, is the actual menus for this are completely different than anything they've done. It's got kind of this flip down thing going on. It's awesome, and I really liked it, and it was something different. My only knock on the menus, which I know, Justin, I don't know if you're watching this, it can be hard to see because it's like a gray font when you're going from play to audio, the setup, all that stuff. It can be very hard to tell what you're kind of over. And so that was my only critique as far as the new menu system, is that I kind of found it hard to kind of navigate where I was because it was varying shades of gray. And that may just be my old eyes, but that was the only thing I kind of had a problem with in this release. All right, so let's talk about that video presentation. So this is a new 4K scan of the inner positive of the film. Now I will link another video from Vinegar Syndrome that actually goes into what an inner positive is if you really aren't sure what that is. Great, I linked it in my Southern Comfort video, so if you check that out, it's also linked there. But definitely check that out if you're kind of unsure what an inner positive is and what that actually means. Vinegar Syndrome did a great job kind of explaining that with their archivist. It's a fantastic watch. So let's get into this video. So again, new 4K scan. This is a Blu-ray. So, I mean, you clicked on the video, probably know it's a Blu-ray, but it looks fantastic because this is coming from a DVD trapped era. I think this looks great. There's a lot of grain to this movie, so I'll be overlaying some screenshots so you can see kind of what the look and feel of this video is. There's a lot of grain, like I said, so just know that going in. If you're a grain hater, you're not going to like this movie, but I think it looks fantastic. I actually looked up some footage of the DVD, and while it may be slightly off, maybe it looks better on the actual disc, this is miles above from what I've seen this movie being presented as before this. So, man, it's great. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's solid. It's not going to be the most pristine. It is 4K scan, but it's still on Blu-ray, so you don't get HDR, you don't get anything like that, but it does look good overall. A solid, transfer here. Now on the audio front, this is a 2.0 mono track. So nothing that's going to shake the house. Don't get any 5.1 Atmos, anything like that. For a lot of these older films, it's fine and it works here. Nothing is muddled. Everything is clear. It's audible. And even when there are like heavier action scenes with cars driving, stuff like that, it all sounds great and it's all mixed properly. So on that front, even though, like I said, I'm a huge audiophile, I love me a good Atmos track. This sounds fantastic and fits the presentation of the movie. So I'm going to give this a solid 3.5 out of 5. Again, nothing like shooting for the moon, but it works for what this film is. Let's get into the special features now. All right, we've got a new interview with director and co-writer John Dahl. We've got a new interview with co-writer John Dahl. That seems redundant, right? That seems redundant that we've got a new interview with director and co-writer John Dahl, and then we've got a new interview with co-writer John Dahl. I don't know if they meant to put that on here. I'm just saying that just is weird that they said the same things. Maybe they're different interviews. It's just weird. Anyway, we've got a new commentator track with historian Aline Silver and a filmmaker Christopher Coppola. We've got Desperate Times, Call for Desperate Measures, a new video essay by Chris O'Neill. We've got archival interview editor Scott Chestnut. We've got Cajun archival footage essay by Petros Pastavilis, and a new text essays by writer Jordan Searles and Justin LaLiberty and Keith Phillips that is in the book when you buy it. So I actually did go through those. Those are very well done. I like that aspect. I always like an aspect, I'm not a huge like media digital book kind of fan, but I like it here because it all pertains to this. It's written by the guy who created the label, so I really like that. So, it kind of goes into insight of why you chose this film, and I really like all that stuff. So on the special features side, we got a lot of new stuff. So again, a solid 3.5 out of 5. There's not a ton of them here, but I like the ones that are here. Now, let's get into the film itself, which is probably the most exciting thing other than this being a new label, is this movie, man. Let's discuss this film now, and I am super excited. This is my favorite part. Normally, the physical media part is actually the part that I'm super excited for, and it is fantastic in all regards. We just went over all of that. But the movie here, sometimes you watch these movies, I'll be honest, sometimes you watch these weird Vinegar Syndrome movies, and sometimes I'm like, it's fine. It's cool that this weird thing is out, but it's not really for me. This is one of those things, and I think it's cool that they're doing these American movies, this movie is fantastic. It is so good. I don't know how I've missed this and how I have not watched this before this. It is so damn good. Dennis Hopper's great. Nick Cage is great. Lara Flynn Boyle is great. The cast is amazing all around. You've got Nick Cage kind of drifting his way. I'm not going to go into any spoilers because I think you should watch this movie. You should buy this movie. You should watch this movie. Everything is great about this release, but I'm going to talk about it for just a few minutes because I really do like what they're doing here. And so you got, Nick Cage drifting in. He goes into this bar. He's kind of down on his luck. He accepts a job. He doesn't really know what the job is. Turns out this guy wants this killer who's supposed to be there to murder his wife, and then said killer shows up wanting his money back, and then this ensues madness all around. Great performances all around from everybody. Dennis Hopper is chewing that scene, and it is great. Nick Cage gives kind of a very reserved, performance for him. Lara Flynn Boyle is great as always. So all of these people are great. There's twists and turns and all of that. So this is a highly recommend movie for me. I feel like I could have done a full review on this movie if I wanted to, but we've mixed it in here. We've jammed it at the end of this, and I can't speak highly enough about this release. I am super excited for both this and Little Darlings. They have started off with amazing American films, and I can't wait to see what they do from here. So from me personally, shout outs to Justin LaLiberty, shout outs to Vinegar Syndrome. This is an awesome first foray into some American films that I'm personally super excited about. The packaging's cool. Like I said, the art's going to vary from release to release. We'll talk about that in Little Darlings, but this one's solid. It's just simple, to the point. It is what it is, and I'm super excited to see what they do in the future. So, again, props to Justin and his team over at Vinegar Syndrome. Solid release. I would say that this is a pickup. Now, again, in the context of this new label, some people don't like to buy things until there are a couple films in. I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to buy the label. Screw all that. We can decide if the label is good at another time. Once we get a few films in, we can say, yes, this is a good label, or no, it's not. Like the Ultra films at this point, we're 8 in. We can decide that, yes, this is a cool, sublabel of them. This is great. This is cool. But this is amazing. This film is so good, and Little Darlings is so good, that I think it kind of transcends what the label is going to be here. Cinematographe or whatever it is, they could do this in any form, and these are amazing films. So I'm super excited for the future. Again, I know I'm rambling because this film is so damn good. I'm excited for this stuff. You should be excited. Let me know down below. Are you picking this up? Are you picking up anything that Vinegar Syndrome kind of released last month? I do have a pickups video from last month if you want to see the subscriber movies for that month. We got a lot coming. You know, we got Willy's Wonderland on 4K from Screen Factory. I don't know, you know. Was it better than Five Nights at Freddy's? I don't know. I've actually never seen it. So it's going to be another Nick Cage movie that I haven't seen coming to 4K Steelbook. So, you know, stick around for that video. We've got a lot to come this month. We've still got some sweet Vinegar Syndrome coming at the end of the month. So I'm super excited for all that stuff. If you're a physical media fan, come join us here at the Collective. Become part of the Collective. I'm going to link some videos for you at the end as always. But before we go, I'd say this release is about a 4. Overall, this is about a 4 out of 5. I highly recommend. So, you know, I'll shut up now. Check out my other videos. I'll link my Southern Comfort one here at the end so you can check that out. That was the last Ultra line release. And then you can go back and check out all my other 4K reviews. All right, that's all I've got. Thanks for stopping by. I'll talk to you guys in my next review.